Bouic is proudly brought to you by Buchulife, the scientifically researched natural alternative to prescription medications.
Afternoon, Prof. Bouic.
Hello, Sean. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you doing?
Very good. No complaints.
So, today, we're talking eczema.
Yep, eczema. I think many folks out there know what eczema is about. More and more sufferers of eczema. Just briefly, I think what I should do is just explain what eczema actually is. Obviously, it's an inflammatory stroke allergic condition of the skin. It can affect any part of the body, but it predominantly concentrates in any areas where we actually fold. In other words, forearm, elbows, knees, etc. And if one looks at the actual pathogenesis or the actual causes, or if you look at a biopsy of the actual skin in eczema, one thing that we notice is that it's full of immune cells, lymphoid cells. So it says to you it's an inflammatory, immune-mediated thing. We don't quite know what the trigger is. Some people are born obviously allergic, born predisposed to actually having allergic reactions. But what we now know is, in fact, it's an immune imbalance between two types of cells which actually should be balanced. And most allergic individuals actually have an imbalance, making them very pro-inflammatory, very pro-allergic. And interestingly enough, I really believe that, in fact, the skin is literally the window to your gut. And often an allergic reaction, eczema, tends to originate in the gut. People are reacting to ingested foods, and they manifest it as an eczema outbreak. Stress does play a big role. I mean, we know that someone who's totally controlled, the moment they have a stressful event, the eczema breaks through again. We know that.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think that most management that what we use clinically to treat people with eczema tends to be more cortisone-based. In other words, cortisone creams, maybe some moisturizer and what have you, just to keep the skin very supple. But the problem is what we are doing there is we're not addressing the underlying problems.
Yeah.
We're treating symptoms.
You're covering it up.
We're covering it up, literally. Okay, so someone who walks into a GP's office or a dermatologist's office, he gets diagnosed with dermatitis or eczema. First thing they get prescribed is a cortisone-based cream. Danger long-term is that it does make the skin a lot thinner. Okay, so it will never cure the condition. All we're doing is just putting a big lid on it and saying, keep quiet for a while. Exactly. So what we have to do is actually go to the underlying problems. One should be looking at the person's diet. Okay, many people are reacting to trigger foods, things like wheat, to milk products, dairy. Remove those triggers from the diet, reconstitute the gut with a good probiotic, and then you actually have to switch off the inflammation.
Yeah.
Okay, don't just kill the immune response saying put a lid on it. Treat it with a good local anti-inflammatory, because that is what perpetuates the eczema outbreak. Things like the Buchulife Gel. I mean, obviously, this is the show is sponsored by Cape Kingdom and the Buchulife. And basically, they've got a fantastic gel, which one can apply topically, and it gets absorbed very quickly. And the beauty is that it has a two-pronged approach. It's anti-inflammatory.
For sure.
And it also contains the anti-infective, because the biggest problem with eczema is that people scratch. It's itchy.
Yeah.
Okay. They scratch, and what they're doing then is they're introducing bacteria into the broken skin. And you have a horrible infective lesion, which then takes weeks and weeks and weeks to actually heal. So, two-pronged approach. I would also like to suggest not only just topical application, but also maybe some oral ingestion, so that it feeds the skin from inside. Things like omega-3s, omega-3 oils, which the Buchulife Gel caps obviously contains. And then you have to make sure that the gut functions properly. A good probiotic, remove the pathogens in the gut. We've spoken about this with Josie last year, obviously. And that is, I've always maintained the gut is the center of your immune organ. It's the most important organ. So your skin manifests the imbalance, which is in fact in your gut.
Okay.
And the frightening part is that there are more and more children being diagnosed with eczema, and they tend to be the kids who are very allergic to cow's milk, to the bottle feeding, wrong foods and junk foods, that type of thing. But it is something which is totally reversible. It can be treated, obviously, but I think the best is for it to be cured, and the only way to cure it is to bring back the balance in your immune system, so that you don't have these outbreaks of eczema.
Completely. We've asked the question on our Facebook, on Just Josie's Facebook page, and we've had a response from Anita Anita. She says she gets eczema on her neck sporadically, but the remedy cream that she uses involves aloe vera. How does aloe vera compare to Buchulife?
Aloe vera and Buchulife are two totally different plants. Firstly, aloe is known for its predominantly antiviral properties. Okay? Aloe vera, yes, it does contain some molecules, but as far as the diversity of bioactive molecules, Buchu outshines. I mean, it outperforms aloe vera, I would say 50-1. For several reasons, as I said. Anti-inflammatory. Okay. It's very good healing. Okay, it has some molecules. We're still researching all this. We don't quite know what molecule is responsible for which property. But it has the anti-inflammatory, anti-infective. In other words, it prevents bacteria from growing. All right. And obviously, it has the added advantage of quick healing. A typical example, you go and get yourself sunburned.
Yeah.
Okay. On one part of your body, you apply aloe vera cream. On the other part, in the same sunburnt area, you apply Buchu gel. You'll feel the difference within 20 minutes between the two creams.
Really?
Buchu gel cuts out. It switches off that inflammation immediately. It's the most rapidly acting, fast-acting gel as far as inflammation is concerned.
Wow.
So it's very different. It tells me, I'm not saying aloe vera cream is not good. It has its role to play, but as far as the comparison between Buchu and aloe, very different molecules, firstly, and secondly, just the diversity of molecules between the two are totally different.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I know both my younger siblings are two very fussy eaters, and they both suffer from eczema.
Yeah. Okay, can I just ask you, how do they eat?
Not very well at all.
Okay, so there we go. All right. So it originates from within. Okay.
It's mainly starch that they eat. It's macaroni and cheese. And
Well, there we go. All right. It's wheat, and macaroni cheese with cream salt. It's dairy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad, but at the same time, you should not be eating that all the time. Especially if your gut is disturbed, you don't have the normal flora, you're not going to digest those things. They become trigger foods. Typical, you take someone who's got eczema, you control them, and then you say to them, okay, now go and do yourself a challenge, ingest what you want. And I guarantee within 3-4 days, these people break out with the eczema once again. It's simply by changing their diet once again. So it says to you that the gut is never normal in those people, so they have to look after their guts all the time. Take a good probiotic, normalize the flora, so that it's the bacteria that should be there to break down those trigger foods. If you don't have them, you will manifest it as eczema on your skin.
So say, for instance, you were having problems with dairy. How would you find a good probiotic if you'd usually have yogurt or something to try and
very different.
balance it out?
All right, if you take milk, milk is allergenic. Okay, it induces allergies. I always say milk is for cows. We should not be ingesting milk. But if you take that milk and you give it to a good lactobacillus, which is the milk protein breaking bacteria, the milk friendly bacteria, they convert that to cheese or to yogurt. You can ingest that. You can be allergic to milk, but you may not necessarily break out and be allergic to yogurt because you no longer have that big protein called casein. It's been broken down into small little pieces called peptides. So you ingest peptides and you absorb that a lot faster and better. So people should not be ingesting raw milk, including ice cream, unfortunately. But if you ingest yogurt, or a good cheese, a good unprocessed cheese, you don't react at all.
Yeah. Well, we've even got some testimonials here. Gavin Attenborough said that the skin infection soon cleared, and most importantly, the eczema has not reappeared all winter. For the first time in his life, he's had problem-free skin.
Yeah, well, there we go. And that was from using the Buchu gel, Buchulife. I mean, it's an incredible cream. I mean, I'm yet to see another cream on the market that can actually have, the diversity of properties for skin application as a Buchu gel. It's really an awesome gel.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's something which should be in everybody's pharmacy at home, especially people with children. The children fall down and they cut themselves, etc. Put it on. They burn themselves. Put it on. They sunburn. Put it on. Insect bites. It takes away that sting within 10-15 minutes.
Wow.
It's really an awesome cream.
That sounds fantastic. Also, we've got another one in from Anita Marta, who said she tried the gel and it's amazing how her skin looks now. No more open wounds or inflamed and painful patches at all.
Yeah. You see, there again, we're switching off the inflammation. It would be interesting to see how long the Buchu gel on its own can actually maintain that condition, being in a sort of a healed state. I do believe that these people have tried so many things. They've been given so much advice as far as diet, etc. So although they've tried it, they haven't actually come across the use of the anti-inflammatory and the healing cream until they've actually found the Buchu gel.
Yeah, much more multi-purpose.
Much more multi-purpose. It's an amazing thing.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming in.
You're most welcome, Sean.
It's been lovely chatting.
Yeah, nice chatting, and
we'll
I
see
don't know,
you
maybe
next week.
Next week.
Cool. That's big thanks to Prof Bouic for coming in, talking about Buchulife Gel. But in the meantime, you tuned into the lunch show on Tertian's Vibe Radio. This is Twin Shadow.